Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Northern Kentucky Spotlight Podcast presented by CVG. I'm your host, Sarah Brookbank, and I can honestly say that I am shocked that it is finally October. This year has been flying by, and we have had so many great guests on the podcast this year. Today on the podcast, we are joined by members of Fayette Heating Air who talk about their recent expansion to Northern Kentucky and how residents can take advantage of their club membership. On NKY at Work, Nancy Spivey is joined by Jerry Wallace of CCRM. They highlight reentry employment and how local businesses can become successful second chance employers. Thank you to our podcast sponsors, CVG, our title sponsor, C-Crew Consulting, our digital sponsor, and our episode sponsor, Haran. Our Investing in Equity series is back this month, and on Friday, October 20th, our focus will be on employing, understanding, and engaging our LGBTQ+ population. We will hear from experts that identify as and work closely with the LGBTQ+ population, who will give your business actionable and measurable goals to work toward. So we are all working together respectfully and to our fullest potential. You can register for that event now at nkychamber.com/events. Now, let's go meet our members of the week, hear from our sponsors, and Nancy and I will be back with today's guests.
Why would you travel to England?
For football.
To go or not to go?
That is an easy question.
To visit the land of Shakespeare.
To take in all the sights.
Authentic fish and chips.
To experience arts and culture.
2 words, British Open.
To visit my family.
Same reason I go anywhere. For a pint of beer. To start my trip through Europe.
Whatever your reason, there's no better time than now.
Ranking on Google Search and Maps is easy to understand, but hard to do. It requires constant effort and attention, uploading new photos, responding to Google reviews, writing weekly posts, and checking suggested updates. Google listing optimization takes experience and time, and there are no shortcuts. C-Crew gives your Google My Business account the steady, consistent attention it needs to be effective, optimizing, updating, and expanding critical content every single week. From local retail stores to large regional networks, C-Crew generates content, establishes benchmarks, and creates dramatic, measurable increases in engagement. So what can C-Crew do for your business? More calls, more clicks, more clients.
Congratulations to our members of the week. You can learn more about these businesses by following the Northern Kentucky Chamber on social media, where we will highlight one of these businesses each day. Now, let's meet our members of the week. NKY serves people with disabilities or other barriers to employment through life and work skills training, job placement, and rehabilitation. Cornerstone Equipment is the Tri-State's fastest growing equipment solution provider, delivering rock-solid solutions for a variety of markets. Airgas National Carbonation is a leading provider of comprehensive CO2 and carbonation solutions, catering to a diverse spectrum of industries. Built to Last Nonprofit Solutions offers a comprehensive range of services to assist nonprofit organizations, including helping clients navigate the complexities of launching a 501c3. The mission of Dayton Freight Lines, Inc. is to be the recognized leader in providing high-quality regional LTL transportation services. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the podcast. Today we are joined by Tim Bauman and Ryan Beckman of Fayette Heating and Air. Welcome, guys.
Thank you. Appreciate you having us.
Yes. So tell us about your business. You guys are kind of newer to Northern Kentucky, but not new to the HVAC business. Tell us about yourselves.
That's correct. So we've been around since 1971. We were founded by Al Melrose. We started off as a new construction company, when the housing booming happened in the 70s. Since then, we've added a bunch of service lines. We've gotten into plumbing, we've gotten electrical, and now we're very huge into residential and commercial. We're big into Central Kentucky. We've also expanded into Elizabethtown and Bardstown, and since March now, we've came up to Northern Kentucky.
Very awesome. Well, welcome to Northern Kentucky. I know we've got a lot of housing up here. So what areas in Northern Kentucky do you guys serve?
So right now we're focusing all the way from the river, from Covington down to Walton, but we'll go all the way down to Georgetown, Lexington area as well. So anything in between.
Yeah. And so what makes you guys kind of stand out from other HVAC services? What kind of services do you offer? You said it's kind of all encompassing.
Yeah. So we are a full services home company. So we'll take care of your HVAC. We'll take care of your plumbing, your electrical, the insulation in your attic. There are very few things that we don't do in your house. But what stands out is that we are going to stand behind our work and be the ones there no matter what happens. So anything that you need, we're going to be there, and we're going to get it done the first time and get it done right.
Yeah, that is very important, especially I know right now in the summer, I live in a home built in the 60s. My AC is a little loud, so it is nice knowing when you call somebody, they're going to come out and do it correctly. One of the things you guys also offer, which is really unique, I think, is these club memberships. Can you tell us about those?
Yeah, so our club membership is the backbone of our company. So for $12.95 a month, we're going to come out twice a year and maintenance your HVAC system. And that is a full 50-point check on everything. Once a year, we're going to send our plumbers out to do a full home check. And once a year, we're going to send our electricians out to check everything in your house, from plugs to light switches, just anything you have.
Yeah, and why are you guys offering that?
We've always offered that as a way. Most importantly, a lot of the things in your home carry a warranty. And in the fine print of every one of your warranties, it says on well-maintained systems or well-maintained floors. So to keep your warranties active, you have to have somebody checking that out on a yearly basis.
Yeah, that's very important. I don't think I knew that one. Another thing that you guys also offer are rebates for certain things. Tell us about those kinds of services.
We're very excited this year. The federal government has really helped out with a lot of tax rebates. Duke Energy up here is also offering different rebates on different types of systems. So depending on what your house has between gas and electric, you could get anywhere from a $600 to a $2,000 tax credit, with Duke Energy also taking some off of your bills up here as well.
Yeah, very nice. Anything else to add on the services and rebates aspect?
Another really important part is the maintenance aspect, is that it helps you avoid a lot of those surprises that you might have when it comes to those key moments in very hot summer or very cold winters. So if we're out there maintaining your equipment twice a year, and also about that we'll have knowledge of your equipment. So when something does break down, we know exactly what it was because we've been out there and we've seen your equipment, so we can get it fixed really quickly. And then another key aspect about our service is that we're next day installs constantly. So when you have a problem, next day we can get that full new system in there, so you're not going weeks at a time without any heat or air.
Yeah, that is very important, especially like you said, hot summers, cold winters, we get the gamut of it here in Kentucky. Another thing that you guys do within your organization is you guys have a lot of community involvement. I understand you guys have 3 special trucks. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, so we have Lexington Humane Society. We have
Susan G.
Komen and Salvation Army. And so what we do with each one of these trucks is that we take a percentage of the revenue that we make off those trucks and we give back to each one of those foundations. Some other things that we're really proud of, every year we do Gift to Heat and Cool to Be a Vet. Cool to Be a Vet, we just actually finished up now, and we give off new AC and heating units to veterans and then people in needs in the winter. Another key thing which actually really helped us transition to the north is that we worked with the Catholic Diocese, Home Depot, for flood victims in the winter, and we did $1 million of HVAC systems in eastern Kentucky. So we were kind of worried with the logistics if we could handle all that, and our team just knocked it out and did a great job helping all that community. So that gave us the confidence that we can come up here and help the community up in northern Kentucky.
Yeah, that is very exciting, very important work that you guys are doing across the community. When people, if they've listened to this, they are introduced to you guys for the first time, how can people get in touch and learn more about you all?
So you can go to FayetteHeating.com, and very simple, we have everything, all our service that we do there, all the services that we provide. You can also schedule online, so if you do need services, right there, you can select what your issue is, and it'll give you a date and calendar exactly when you can pick your time when you need us to come out, and you'll know exactly that time frame. Or you can call. We have a local call center, so where you have people in-house that are here to help you.
Right, Ryan, anything to add on that aspect?
Yeah, I'm going to come at it from the money aspect. You know, there's nothing about HVAC that is cheap to do in your house. So what we try to help out with is we go up to 48 months of interest-free financing on a new system, and we offer a best in the industry 12-year warranty on all of our work. It's pretty industry standard to have 10 years, so we're fortunate to partner with people that are able to extend that up to 12 years. So that's all parts and up to possibly the labor covered for up to 12 years in your house on any new system from us.
Very nice, very nice. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining the podcast today. Before I let you go, is there anything else you want to add about your business to the new viewers and listeners up here in Northern Kentucky?
I think one of the biggest things that we are is that we guarantee our work. So, and especially if you're a club member, like you have a private hotline for yourself just to call in. We make sure that no matter what happens, that we're going to take care of you. And that's why we're up here to help take care of this community here.
We also don't want people to think that it's going to be a long wait for us to get up to Lexington. We have been fortunate enough to begin hiring service technicians from up in this area. So when you call us, we'll be able to be there from local people.
Very awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much again for joining the podcast. I appreciate it.
Thank you again. Appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Nancy Spivey, Vice President of Talent Strategies for the Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce. On today's NKY at Work segment, we are talking about CCRM. That's not a rock band. And I'm here today with Jerry Wallace. He's the founder and executive director. Welcome, Jerry.
Thank you so much, Ms. Spivey. I really appreciate you having me on.
Sure. So tell us what CCRM is and what population you serve.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, the Council of Christian Reentry Ministry lives and exists to serve people that are coming out of reentry and back into our communities seeking long-term meaningful employment. So we serve specifically those that are coming out of recovery, that is substance abuse recovery, and also those that are coming out of incarceration. So those are the two populations that we serve.
And how do they find you?
Good question. Through 14 partner organizations in the area, mainly transitional living and also the substance abuse treatment centers. Those are the primary means that people get in touch with us.
Are they primarily in Northern Kentucky, or do you serve people in Ohio, Indiana?
Great question.
Sure.
So yes is the answer, primarily in Northern Kentucky. We are currently reaching across the river with some of our friends, City Gospel Mission, some of the other social service agencies that are in the same space. So yes, currently exclusive to Northern Kentucky, but we are working with some of our partners in the Cincinnati area currently, expanding there.
Okay, so you mentioned that a big piece of this is employment. Do you consider CCRM a staffing agency?
We are technically a nonprofit staffing agency. One of our divisions are. So let me just take a moment. I'll tell you what the two halves of our program are.
That'd be great. Sure.
We have a program that provides pre-vocational instructions to those that need help getting work ready, as we refer to it. And then we also, yes, do have a nonprofit staffing division. Okay, so two different functions, one organization, and that was really just born out of need. You know, we realized as we began to help people about 10 years ago get to work in Northern Kentucky through reentry that there's a lot of people that are ready to go to work right away, and some folks need help with those soft skills and just need a little bit of assistance getting back into the workplace.
And how do you do that? How do you help them?
Great question. So the pre-vocational classes are all about helping people obtain their ID necessary to get a job, very basic things, all the way up through conversational interviewing, right? Mm-hmm. Helping people get ready in terms of mock interviews, helping people get connections in the community with some of our 14 partner employers. And it's also a 5-week class that meets with people twice a week for an hour and a half a piece and teaches them literally how to get what we call NKY Work ready so that they can help employers have the wonderful experience that we want them to have when one of our participants shows up to go to work for them.
Oh, it sounds like a great program. Tell me a little bit about the employers. You said you have 14 employer partners. Mm-hmm. If I'm an employer and I want to be a partner, how do I do that?
Well, the first thing I would recommend that you do is get in touch with us on I've told you there's two halves of our program at NKYReentrystaffing.com. So that's the website for that half of the business. Call me directly. My number is 513-302-5012. I'll answer the phone directly and tell you about what we do. That is really the best way to do that is visit our staffing website for an employer or call me directly. There's also information, I believe, attached to this podcast where someone can schedule a Zoom call with me if they'd like to do that. You're more than welcome to do that. What we'll do is we'll sit down and have a very real conversation about that individual employer staffing needs and frankly find out if what we can offer is a fit.
Okay.
It may or may not be,
Sure.
and we realize that.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about how we can go about serving both in a business sense and in a social sense, that business and the community.
That's wonderful. So I understand just from my own experience, my own, family and extended family out there that individuals in recovery, they come with all sorts of skills and abilities,
Yes, ma'am.
right?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
So you don't turn people away. You accept people.
We are literally zero exclusion, and that
Okay.
means that anyone who comes to us seeking assistance with employment, we will help them. It is absolutely true that the longer those issues may be, those barriers, as we call them, to employment may be, it's going to be tougher. So I'm very much a realist. I think from talking to you, I believe you're the same. But yes, we would be honored to work with anyone that needs assistance. And we do have employers that will work with participants regardless of background.
Okay. So how do the businesses benefit by working with you? What's the benefit?
Absolutely. Great question. So in two different ways. They can benefit financially. I'll get to that in just a minute. But more importantly, I want to tell you that there's some extremely important, I don't want to become a statistician here on your show today, but I do want to tell you that SAMHSA has some great information out there that tells us, and I provide this to all partner employers, those that are interested, that tell us, Nancy, that employers, when they are willing to allow us to support, you don't have to provide the support as an employer. We'll be honored to do that. But when you allow us to support them with community resources such as counseling, other resources that people need in reentry, that participants in our program are as and likely to be more successful than those in the general population that they hire. Now, I know that's pretty astounding. I'll be glad to show you that information and tell you how I know that, mainly from doing this for the last 10 years. I feel very confident in telling you that, but I'll give you the information from SAMHSA, which is one of the nation's largest and most respected organizations on reentry and reentry employment. So that's one distinct benefit. We can reduce the churn. I know that's a bold claim, but HR managers out there, I've seen it. I've done it with larger companies, smaller companies. We've worked with divisions of Caterpillar here locally. We've worked with Tyson Foods, smaller companies that have really run the gamut. And it's been true. It's not perfect.
Sure.
I don't
Life's
ever,
not perfect.
No,
right?
ma'am. No, ma'am. I don't ever try to pretend that it is, but it is very successful. And I'm really proud of that. I love to see people become more self-sufficient, and businesses also benefit from that, reduce in turnover. So I mentioned the financial aspect. We have a very important partnership with the Northern Kentucky Development District, which allows employers to benefit between and receive an incentive of between $500 and $800 at the 30-day mark of employment for one of our participants. So just to cover that again really quickly, I got a little choked up when I said that because it's kind of wild, but employers can actually benefit, and this money, again, it flows through our organization but comes from the development district, is between $500 and $800 that goes directly to the employer upon 30 days of employment when that participant reaches that milestone. Does not obligate you as a potential employer to eventually hire that person on direct, although I would love to see that, right?
Sure.
But you're not obligated in any way to do that. It's simply an economic incentive from the development district to promote second chance hiring.
So let me make sure I get this. So
Yes, ma'am.
the employer contracts through the staffing agency,
ma'am.
CCRM.
Yes, ma'am.
They bring in a person. The person stays 30 days.
Correct.
And then the employer benefits
That's absolutely
monetarily.
right.
Right?
That's absolutely right.
And under no obligation to hire that person as a permanent
No
person.
obligation whatsoever. One of the things I'll do if I get a chance to meet with you, and I hope I do get a chance to talk to you, some of you HR managers here in the Northern Kentucky area, I'll explain that to you in great detail, but the bottom line is there's no catch. There's no obligation whatsoever. It is an incentive designed to hopefully encourage second chance employment. That's why the money is being spent. That's what it's allocated for. But you are not going to sign any document, contract or otherwise, that says you must hire that participant.
Well, and certainly people understand that we're here to grow our economy. We're here to keep everything moving, to love
Yes, ma'am.
Northern Kentucky, to continue to support our community. And so anything we can do to elevate people out of poverty into some type of self-sufficiency. I mean, I
Yes,
think.
ma'am. Yeah, developing self-sufficiency is the whole point of this program. And I'll just tell you, it's fine for me I had to think about this, but it's fine for me to go ahead and just tell you this on camera. The purpose of this program is exactly that, to help people find self-sufficiency. And the core group of participants that are entering this program are currently using what we know as SNAP food benefits. Mm-hmm. And the purpose of this program is to help them become, again, self-sufficient so that they move off of that benefit. That's the whole point.
That's wonderful.
It is. It's a great program.
And how long have you been doing this?
In different forms for about 10 years. I've done this full time for the last 5.5 years. I absolutely love helping people through reentry. I will tell you that we're a faith-based program also. I don't want to make a big deal out of that, but it's a big deal to me. We're here to bring compassion and accountability, hopefully, into people's lives through reentry. My wife, Kim, and I have done that for about 10 years. Really love getting to be a part of that.
So you're seeing a big change in Northern Kentucky over those 10 years, or?
I have seen some significant change. Ms. Spivey, I have. Largely, it's been positive in that more employers have become more second chance friendly, right? Why? Because of that thing known as COVID.
Sure.
I better not go down that road, but they know who they are out there. A lot of them didn't have a choice, right? And that changed a lot of minds. I know personally, because a lot of employers needed the help that they could not get elsewhere, and which they received through programs like ours. Strange twist of fate, right? That COVID actually helped some people, but that's true for our population, that they got chances to work and obtain long-term meaningful employment that they would not have otherwise obtained.
And I think the key is what you've mentioned before, the support that you offer and bring to the table.
Absolutely. And that's not just us. I don't want to take all the credit for that. CCRM is honestly a small organization in terms of personnel, but we connect to 14 other partner organizations. That's Brightview, that's Transitions, that's all the other providers that people in the community would know about that help with substance abuse. We work with probation parole down in Bellevue, work with their teams. And what we do really is seek to connect those resources for people in the community.
That's wonderful. Anything else you want to add, Jerry?
I would love to speak to you if you're an employer out there that is either thinking about or is open to second chance employment. I'll meet with you personally. You'll have access to schedule a Zoom call with me. I'd love to meet with you in person if you're open to that. If you would consider second chance employment, I can tell you that our organization will go out of its way to show to you that second chance employment can be beneficial both in social terms and as a financial matter. It'll be a very positive thing for your company.
Thank you very much for coming in, and keep up the good work.
Thank you, Ms. Spivey. Thanks for having me on.
Sure.
Hi, I'm Shannon Schumacher, Account Executive, Kentucky Market Leader. At Haran, we champion bold innovation to help employers and individuals thrive. As an industry thought leader, we explore new horizons in healthcare, benefits, employee engagement, and wellness. We work harder to deliver all the strategic benefits, planning, and execution you expect from a true partner. And we do it with laser focus on your short and long-term outcomes to help manage your benefits while improving your employee experience.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's podcast episode and learning a little bit more about Fayette Heating and Air and CCRM. Thanks to our podcast sponsors, CVG, C-Crew Consulting, and Haran for making this podcast possible. Don't forget to register for our upcoming Investing in Equity series happening on Friday, October 20th on employing, understanding, and engaging our LGBTQ+ population. You can register for that at nkychamber.com/events. Finally, if you are a member who would like to be featured on the podcast, or if you're someone who is interested in becoming a member of the Chamber of Commerce, please reach out to Lynn Ablin. And if you're a member who would like to share your workforce strategies and resources on NKY at Work, please reach out to Nancy Spivey. You can find both of their contact information on the screen in front of you or at our staff directory at nkychamber.com. Thanks again for tuning in. I'll talk to you all next week.